This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Stages Theater in Fullerton for their presentation of Green Man. Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Jeremy Lewis. I was the director of the production of Green Man.
Great. And a question, why did you decide to do this production?
I was contacted by the playwright. I had directed a play of his about 2 years ago in Santa Ana called Spain, and we received some good reviews, and he heard about our production and sent people to see it, and then he contacted me and asked if I'd like to direct his new play.
Do you have any comments on the play? Because I liked this a lot. I thought it was very insightful.
Absolutely, me too. I mean, again, I'm a big fan of the playwright, and when I worked on his last play, I felt very, very lucky to do so. And it was my first production back when I was in grad school. And this play triggers a lot of the same emotions and feelings that I felt when I first read his play, Spain. And I found myself very connected to the lead character of Abigail.
What do you look for in your casting?
Well, I look for a lot of things. I think most importantly that they fit the characters the way that I see them, but then I also look for a group of people that I think will work well within my style and will work well with each other on stage. You definitely want to have chemistry amongst the actors.
Okay. About this play again, and artists in general, because I just couldn't help but notice that all the characters were artists and all that, and the pain that they were going through. What are your comments on it? Do you think artists have to suffer? You know, to be a great artist, you have to suffer.
I mean, there's certainly that school of thought. I don't know that I necessarily buy into that. I think it can help some people, and some people may feel that they need that. Personally, I'm very happy with my life. I have a wife and 3 kids, and I don't think I'm suffering a whole lot. And I think I'm still able to create art on the stage. I think it can be a tool. I think what's more important than suffering is being educated and being able to observe the world around you. And I could certainly, through observing other people and how they've suffered, I think I could be able to recreate that on stage without having suffered myself in the same way.
As a director, suppose, again, say you were in community theater and you're directing the stuff you love, you were writing the stuff you love, but you had an opportunity to work for this big company, and then suddenly they tell you what to do. They say, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're going to do it this way. And suddenly you're no longer the same artist you were before. They hired you because you were this cutting-edge artist. Now they're telling you what to do because of budgets, because of they can get these great people. But, I mean, what do you think about something like that?
Well, I think you have to decide for yourself, weigh the pros and cons and decide what you want to do with your life. Like I mentioned, I have a wife and kids, and so certainly I need a certain stability in my life, and sometimes that comes from directing shows that I'm not exactly the most passionate about on first read, and so then my job is to find what in that show I can attach to and become passionate about. Luckily for me, I have the opportunity to do those shows and to teach. I teach at Cal State Fullerton. And then at the same time, I could do Green Man here for no money. Because I have that other thing, I could have a creative outlet somewhere else like this here.
Yeah, because again, I was looking at the architect character there, and I was kind of wondering what he was going through, because here he was dealing with all the bureaucracy, and he was an artist too. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like what I loved about the play was it actually showed so many parts of an artist's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think that the playwright again is just very smart, and he has a wonderful sense for the everyman, and he could tap into that, and he's just able to recreate real life on stage, which is what I'm fascinated by. I love stories that talk about the family dynamic or things that we as average theatergoers can watch and empathize and connect with. And I think he captures that very well with these characters.
Well, I like the play very much.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks very much for being on the show. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Miguel Castellano. So I go to Cal State Fullerton. I'm in their BFA acting program right now, and this is my 2nd year that I'm doing that, and I've probably been acting since high school. So
great. And which character did you play?
Green Man. Well, the Green Man is basically, he's kind of a metaphorical character. He's conjured by he's basically in everyone's mind. The Green Man is basically, he's a wood spirit, and he resembles like rebirth and the spring, like new life and everything like that.
I remember back in my college days, and people would ask questions like, what are dragons or what are monsters? A lot of people would say it's actually man's way of dealing with things they can't understand.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see how people just need answers for something, and so they try to create something because they're scared of what they don't know and things that they can't answer. So I can definitely see that.
As an artist, again, are you inspired by say pain in the back of your memory, something that you can't control?
Very much so. I think that is very interesting, and what drives me to find out more about the characters that I play or different things like that. And what I find interesting is what makes them tick and why they're doing the things that they do, because I feel like pain drives that a lot of the times. So yeah, I find that very interesting.
Yeah. Do you think artists are different from regular people? Because most people are motivated by money, or they're motivated by power. When you're a little younger, you're motivated by sex. And artists would be motivated by their pain, or some kind of experience they're trying to work through.
To answer the fact, I feel like our artists are not very different from regular people, because I think they're just, they maybe are seen in a different light because they try to recreate life as they see it or whatever. But I think they're one and the same. They're just people too.
Well, I liked your performance very much.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
All right.
Hi, I'm Ashley Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Chris Hayhurst. I went to Cal State Fullerton, graduated with a BA in theater, and I've been doing regional theater, touring up and down California in different locations. I played Ronald. He is a man who is engaged in a relationship with a woman that seems to be deteriorating, and as you watch the rest of the play, you realize that the deterioration is based on a tragedy that they've mutually experienced. And through that experience, they come into contact with various people in their lives that bring about change. Whether it's positive or negative is yet to be determined, but all the people that they seem to meet seem to be kind of intertwined or connected.
Yeah. Well, I liked the play a lot. It was very insightful.
I suppose that is the goal of all live theater, is to incite and to inspire and to ask questions. Whether those questions get answered or not is kind of to be determined for each audience member. But I feel that incitement is definitely one of the main goals. So if you were incited, then I suppose we achieved our task.
Right. Okay. Now, on a more personal thing, I noticed that all of the cast members there were artists. I mean, your character was an architect. There was also a sculptor and a painter, and also a piano player. They were all artists. My question for you as an artist is, do you have something, where do you get your inspiration from? Because it seems like this pain gave them inspiration to create something.
I feel like there's a parallel to that in real life. I feel like pain breeds experience breeds pain, pain breeds experience, and it's almost cyclical, but in between there are nuggets of growth and understanding and knowledge that come from the pain. And I think that once you've processed the pain, you now, as an actor, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me as an actor, I feel like I have now that in my vault or my bank of knowledge in terms of emotional experience that I can draw on for future experiences.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they get older, they're inspired by money or power. When you're younger in college, you're inspired by, say, sex. Mm-hmm. But an artist, when they go through pain, what kind of inspiration is pain? I mean, no one wants that. It creates something. I don't understand. What kind of inspiration is pain?
Well, pain, I feel, in terms of... And it's basically fuel. It's like an actor needs a wealth of experience to understand different characteristics that are handed to him in different characters. Like Tom from Glass Menagerie has to understand what it is to be trapped. He has to understand what it is to feel guilt for wanting to leave the circumstances that he's in, but knowing that sociologically he's expected to take care of his parents, or mainly his mother and his sister, and take care of the family. And it's kind of his almost patriarchal duty from that time period. And so to understand that, you have to have experienced something kind of similar, in my opinion, something kind of similar, or at least contextually similar, pain-wise, in your own life, or at least be able to empathize with that. Empathy and pain, I think, are some of the strongest tools an actor can have, but only after the pain has been processed and understood. So in a way, pain is fuel instead of tragedy. It starts off as tragedy, but like the people in the play are talking about, nobody wants to believe that good can come from something evil or sad or hurt or painful.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Miriam Ani. I live in the Bay Area. I'm down here just for the show. I love Jim Nabel, who's the playwright. He's a friend of mine. And before that, I'm from New York City. I went to grad school there. Actor, teacher, director. I play Abigail. Abigail is an artist. She's married to Ronald, who you just spoke with, and dealing with some unimaginable loss in their lives.
The same question I have for you is, the characters there, they were all artists, and I think that had something to do with this. And basically, there was almost like there was a spirit. Something became like a spirit, their muse or something that was inspiring them to do things. What do you think? As an artist, what are you inspired by?
I think you're inspired by everything that happens to you in your life. So,
It's supposed to be something tragic, like your mother dies. Eventually, everyone's parent will die, right? What would that do to you?
I mean, it's hard to say exactly how any specific kind of experience or loss will affect you, but I mean, anything that happens, I think it does become submerged in your consciousness and allows you empathy and really is a way to start negotiating with it. I mean, things have to happen to you for you to be able to move through them, right? And that's, I think, what starts to give us strength and wisdom and compassion for other people too.
Also, the topic was once come up that you have to process this first for it to really work. What happens as an artist if you have unprocessed pain? What happens?
Well, you're not in control of it. The idea of in an actor, it's very easy to see that. You know, if you haven't quite worked out what's triggering you, if you're on stage, you can be a little bit of a madman because you don't know how to contain. And the job of the actor is to tell the story for the audience, not just to kind of experience some tragedy and like have an emotional moment, right? So you have to have a certain kind of wisdom and maturity at having worked through something to some extent, so that you know how you can live inside of it and share that with an audience. It's not just about going through something.
Well, again, I love the performances. I loved your performance also.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for being on the show. Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Janelle Kester. I'm a recent graduate of Cal State Fullerton. I do improv here at Sages Theater with Spectacles Improv Engine Company. I do some realistic long form, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, I guess I'm just an actor working in the area.
Okay. And which character did you play?
Janice.
Okay.
She is a sculptor, and she's working with Ronald, who was another character in the play. I think she's a very honest person, though I also think that she's sort of, she's full of contradictions and that she's all about honesty and being truthful and putting everything out there on the table, but she also has a lot of her own problems and things that she hides and is in denial of and things, and you see some of that unfold in the show.
The cast members were actually artists. There was a piano player,
Correct.
There was a sculptor, there was a painter, there was an architect, and they were all being inspired by pain in their life. And it actually caused them to... they were reconciling it through some way,
Sure.
but it also caused them to express them in very artistic ways.
Right. I think it's so interesting that you took it as they're inspired by the pain. See, again, that's what's so great about the play is everyone gets something different out of it. But for me, I guess it seems like their art is what is healing them and is helping them work through things, I guess. So it's not so much that their pain is creating their art. I feel like a lot of their art, I guess Abigail, she does with their paintings of the gargoyles. But it seems like their art is a vessel for them to move through, to work through the problems that the inner turmoil that they're all experiencing.
Oh, so you thought more as like art therapy?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that it's a healing. It's a healing and a hope sort of. I think that's, for me, that's a really important part of the play. And I mean, that's the way I took it, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Green Man will be playing at Stages Theater from June 26th to August 1st. For more information, go to www.stagesoc.org or search for AMB Theater, that's all one word, AMB Theater on Facebook.